All right, we'll call this meeting to order, and my co-chair here has a reminder for everyone to please use your microphone when you're speaking, or if you're speaking from the chairs here, come up to the podium. The meeting recordings, which a lot of times when members can't make it or members of the public can't make it, they do rely on those recordings. The sound quality comes out really poorly if people aren't speaking into the microphones. So thank you for that. And we'll start with roll call. Susie, is that you or John?
Oh, good. Alex Goodman. Doesn't look like he's here. Ken Ali.
Here.
Lisa Pierce. Joshua Somanai. Sunali Siklan.
Sunali's not able to make it today.
Okay, thank you. Zeno Switchin.
Yes, here.
Thank you. Ambrosia Thompson.
Present.
And Dean Allen. Thank you.
And Diana Rich.
Oh, I'm sorry. Diana Rich
Present.
is here, and Sandra Maurer I do not see in attendance today.
I think,
And
did
I
she send a
believe-
message saying she wasn't able to make it today?
I know that she is unable to make it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And I believe we have enough for a quorum today. if
Yeah,
there's any
and
action
Emmett
items.
let us know he was not going to be able to make it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. So review of action items from last week, unless someone has something inspiring to say, which I'm lacking today. It's my first day of being an empty nester and just empty. Review of action items from last week, which I'm not very good at when Joshua's not here, but I'm trying. Carrie was going to send out the community impact something. Report? Community impact report?
I don't remember that
Okay.
conversation. Carrie's will be back on Monday though, so I
Okay.
can.
I don't think
connect
it
with her.
was, I don't think there was any urgency. And then the other action item was coordination around the Apple Fair, which I coordinated by putting it on the agenda for today. So we'll move on to comments from the public regarding items not on the agenda. And it's exciting. We have one today. We have two today. So please come up to the podium and let us know who you are and why you're here.
Good afternoon. Okay, now it's on. Good afternoon, everyone. Woody Hastings. I live about 3 miles south of town. I just realized a short while ago, this is my first ever attending one of these meetings in public. Attended a whole bunch of them during the COVID years while I was actually a member of the committee. So it's really nice to be back. Just really quick, I was able to attend today because I was out and about. I was up by Windsor, where there was an open house for a company called Solectrac. And Solectrac is a company that based here in Sonoma County, and they have this big warehouse that I just saw that manufactures electric tractors. And they are actual, and for anyone here who has a farmer friend or someone with a big property that could use, they're very sort of versatile with lots of different, it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife tractor that you can put different attachments on and do all kinds of stuff for a farm or a ranch or whatever. And they're electric, and there's all kinds of information about how they're a superior technology to diesel tractors, right? Energy efficiency, and just there's lots of other reasons why they're better. And so for anyone here or folks that are watching the video, if you're interested, it's called Solectrac, Solectrac, like for solar electric tractor, I guess. And yeah, so just wanted to mention that, and looking forward to being here for the meeting and hearing what's going on and catching up. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Woody. Did you want to come say hi?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Don Hess, and I have a little studio up on Burnside Road, so that's my connection here to Sebastopol. But in fact, I live most of the time in Gualala, right on the coast of Mendocino County, where I was recently appointed to the Mendocino County Climate Action Advisory Committee. And so I'm really here mostly today just to see how, your group operates. I see you have a great facility, certainly better than ours. So that's nice to see. But I also want to bring up a point about cycling. As you may notice, I'm a cyclist. There are a couple others here as well. Since I'm on Burnside Road, I'm riding down Bodego Avenue fairly frequently. And it's kind of a rough ride. And there are no bike lanes, except here and there's a little bit of a bike lane. I'm curious now, maybe I'm not up to speed on everything yet here and what's happening, but whether or not that is a priority for, putting in some bike lanes. I mean, the rest of the town, the main drag is great. I love it. But Bodega Avenue, I think needs some work. So anyway, that's really all I'd like to say today. I want to just, introduce myself to you and let you know why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's great to meet our neighbors. I'm going to defer and see if maybe Zaino, who's very involved in cycling, knows more about the plans. My understanding is that
Yeah.
it is the chair's prerogative.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so Bodega Avenue is, as you point out, it's much worse quality bike ride compared to 116. And happily, something is being done about this. So there's maybe you have seen construction work going on Bodega Avenue, and that is as part of a bigger resurfacing, rearranging of Bodega Avenue. There's a group in town called Bike Sebastopol that supports this very much. It's a volunteer group, and if you want to kind of connect with the biking community in town, that is a great resource. We also have this committee has a transportation working group that follows these things also.
Thank you. And Jerry?
The additional information on that is that, the mic's there. It says it's on. Additional information on that, I'm surprised Carrie didn't jump in. Measure M funds were supplied to Sebastopol in order to do the study on Bodega for the worst section, which is the portion to the west of town. And that's to be redone. And there's Measure M funds that are being looked at for doing the actual construction work as we move forward with that. And it actually showed up in the review that the Sonoma County Transportation Authority Citizen Action Committee that I'm on reviewed recently. And that was one of the projects that's shown there. I don't know when the actual construction will begin, though.
Great. Thank you. Steve, go for it. See, you've opened up a can of worms here,
Yeah,
Tom.
well, just to highlight something that the Sebastopol Tours talk and Dina's talk for the climate series at the Grange next month. What is it? September 8th, 6th is on bicycling locally. And I'm sure it'll encompass lots of topics. I'm not sure what they all are, but it's a great opportunity. It's 7:00, right, at the Grange on the 6th. Carbon Conversations, you can look it up.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so there is a fall series of Carbon Conversations, and September 6th, so we have them on the first Wednesday of the month, is biking as transport. And at 5:30 in the parking lot, people will bring their bikes for others to look at, the way we did with EV cars. That was very Popular in the parking lot in the June Carbon Conversation. And the presentation and discussion is at 7 p.m. and it's at the Sebastopol Grange. And the Rahus Institute puts that on, but as a committee, we support education in our community. The October Carbon Conversation is on compost, and the November one is going to be on water. But the biking one fits right into what you're saying, because there'll be discussion about what the process is to review the safety of bike lanes in the county and city to move forward.
Great, thank you. I do want to say that hopefully if we have time, we'll be having a little bit of space today to talk about like kind of what our whole group does. And so hopefully that'll be useful to you. If not, we may end up talking about that next month. So hopefully you could join either by Zoom or in person again. And we're just at the end of our public comment for items that are not on the agenda. If you wanted to speak to the committee or. Okay. All right, so we're going to close out public comment unless someone else has something to say about something that's not on the agenda, and call for statements of conflict of interest. We don't have any action items today, so it's not really relevant. And we'll ask for our planning department report. Before we launch into that, I just want to say, Dina, we're going to reorder agenda items to whatever you think. Correct. Well, I checked with, that's my understanding, is that we talked about this, that sending the survey results to council is not an action item. We can discuss whatever we want. We do have a quorum if we need it. So anyway, Dina, we'll reorder agenda depending on what you need to cover before you need to leave. Yeah, is that it? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'll hand this over to planning department.
Thank you. So speaking of bicycles, the planning department, so myself and Carrie are working on providing a report to council to open up recruitment for the SCTA's Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, because I know, Zeno, you had mentioned that there's a public member that is appointed to that group that can participate, but we do need to open a recruitment. So we're scheduling or tentatively scheduling that to be on one of the September meetings for council. So that will be coming up soon. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is about the active transportation plan that SCTA is working on. They will be providing a milestone update report to Planning Commission at the September 12th meeting. So if you're interested in that, that item will be coming to Planning Commission here in a couple next month. And there is also some, they're supposed to be starting their community outreach. So I know Torres reached out to me as far as inviting some of those members of the SCTA and Fair and Peers who are working on the active transportation plan to the event at the Grange to help kind of satisfy the public engagement and outreach. So I haven't heard anything back from them yet if they're going to attend that, but I have reached out to them. So as far as development project goes, the Hotel Sebastopol's archaeology state is at the federal level. So it's being reviewed by that group. And then hopefully they should be starting their grading before the grading season starts, where they're not able to do any grading work. So they're waiting to get approval back on that. The Woodmark project has restarted construction again. They were off last week for some reasons that I wasn't made aware of, but they did restart their construction of grading work yesterday. And finally, the Canopy project, which is the 80-unit townhome project at the north end of town behind the O'Reilly Media Center. Their 30-day comment period on the notice of preparation for the environmental impact